Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile coach and a Scrum Master. Today's video is about RAM or Random Access Memory, which is a liberating structure in development. If you like these videos, please consider to share them and subscribe to my channel. That would be super awesome. So the Liberating Structures toolbox is the toolbox I use all the time when I facilitate. And the liberating structures in development are these fun new ones that you can play around with, and they're not an official part of the toolbox just yet, but they are really high quality and super interesting to play around with. This is one of them. So random access memory is a really good debrief, or what did we pay attention to, or what stood out. So you ask the the attendees, the participants, to stand in a circle looking out, so not looking into the circle but looking out from the center. And then everybody needs to have pen and paper, and then you ask them. The traditional question is something like, what stood out, what will you remember from today, hence the memory. And we'll get to where the random and the access comes in a second. So what stood out, what are you going to remember today? And then people write it down, crumple up the paper and throw it over their shoulder so it lands in the circle. And they do that, and they can write one or two or whatever makes sense. And then when they've done that, you ask them to turn around and then walk, pick up these post-its on the floor, read them, put them down again, read another one. Then that is where we have the random access, right? So we'll just walk around. You can also introduce some kind of maybe people want to take notes or whatever makes sense. When they have read, then they pair up and discuss the patterns. So I read 5 and they were all in this and that, and I read these, I read 4 and those were centered around this, so I read these 3 and they were completely unrelated, which and so on. And then in plenum at the end, maybe, depending on the format of your session, right? So it's a really nice way of getting people to just write down what stood out, what will they take from today, or whatever you invite them to do, right? Throw them in, and then relatively unbiased, right? Just pick up random notes and play around with it. So I'm hoping that you will share if you have used this, how have you used it, how have you also riffed it. That will be super interesting for me to hear. As always, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please let me know. That would be super awesome. Have a really, really awesome day.